This is Monday, June 3rd, 2019. I'm Stephen Wynn. This is the Healing the Heart of America course, and our topic today is electromagnetic pollution, 5G, smart meters, and as I discovered, electromagnetic pollution is being used as a weapon. Really shocking on many levels, and how long it's been going on. So we will find a way to love whatever's going on, because therein lies the cure and the solution. So let's begin by going into our hearts. The way this works every morning is we go into our hearts, because we want to see this problem from our hearts rather than from our mind, which is full of judgments and fears. So there's a couple ways we start to move into our hearts. The first is that we simply sit up straight with our feet flat on the floor and just take one hand and put it on your heart and then cover it with the other hand, both hands over your heart. And it usually helps, they're just more like fun by now, to notice your state right now when you first start this. How does the room feel? How do you feel? How alert, how peaceful, how quiet, how alive, whatever it is. And just by putting our hands over our hearts, in effect saying, "Good morning, heart," let's just explore and see what happens. And just check in. What's your experience right now? How peaceful, how quiet, how present. Just from connecting to our hearts. Let your hands down, put them in your lap when it's comfortable. And the second way we move into our hearts is 16 or 18-inch journey from our heads to our hearts that seems so short, and yet it's so profound when we start living from our hearts. We do a process called heart rhythm meditation, revived from the ancient desert fathers and mothers of the 4th and 5th centuries, the Abbas and the Ammas, these incredible God-realized beings who used their breath and their heart to draw closer to the divine. Pran and Susanna Baer, the authors of Living from Your Heart, had all these experiences with their own hearts and then found this ancient wisdom and brought it forth. So the way we tap into this is we connect the rhythm of our heartbeat with the rhythm of our breathing. And as we connect these to the third rhythm in the body, the cerebral spinal fluid, the pulsing, the pumping of that fluid up and down the spine into the brain begins to move into the same rhythm, and then we start to move in rhythm with the electromagnetic pulsing of the earth, of all creation. We begin just by sitting up straight still and watching our breathing. We're not doing anything at this point, just watching, noticing how freely we breathe, how full is our inhale, how full is our exhale. Perhaps one nostril is dominant, more open. Whatever it is, we just notice it. Being with something like our breath is really a way of loving the breath. And when you're comfortable, we want to make our first shift in our breathing. And that is, start with a very full exhale. Pull your abdominal muscles all the way back towards your spine. And then just watch how the inhale fills up the lungs. And just begin full exhales, full inhales for a time. And when it's comfortable, begin feeling your heartbeat. Perhaps you can just feel it internally. That'll come soon enough if you're brand new. If you can't feel your heartbeat, just feel your pulse in your wrist or your neck. Or perhaps just hold your breath for 15 or 20 seconds and you'll start to feel your heartbeat. It's also okay in the beginning just to count rhythmically, but what we want to be doing is inhaling to 6 or 8 heartbeats, whatever number is comfortable. Could be more or less. I'll use the number 8. Inhale to 8 heartbeats, and then exhale to 8 heartbeats. Keeping the full breath, full inhale, full exhale. And just notice your experience here. The ancient desert fathers and mothers used this state of balance as a platform to draw nearer to the divine. Great artists will use this balance to reveal the beauty of creation. Scientists to uncover the mechanics of creation. Teachers to teach the right knowledge, the right wisdom. Parents use this balance to allow their children to bloom and blossom. We will use this balanced state to love that which formerly we may have judged. And in the process of loving, moving into our hearts, we will discover that it's love that transforms, that all of our judging and hating merely locks in that energy we dislike so much. Okay. This is a basic heart rhythm meditation. Through this course, every day we amplify it a little with some practice. We enter the dimensions of the heart: front, back, left, right, up, down, the inner dimension. And we did the 5 mental breathing practices from here. And we found perhaps a name for our heartbeat, some divine being we wish to invoke, some teacher we wish to express gratitude for. And we did the square breath, where we actually hold the breath. Notice that. Last Friday we did the swinging breath, going for guidance, for where to take this process of healing the heart of America. And I'm going to ask everyone to join me in that again. You can use it for your own guidance or for the guidance of America as a whole. But what we do is keeping this rhythm, 8 heartbeats in, 8 heartbeats out. We inhale from the front into our heart, 8 heartbeats. And then exhale out to the back. The divine beings, the unmanifest aspect, is symbolically behind us. It has our backs. And then we inhale from the back into our heart, 8 heartbeats. And then we exhale out to the front, this energy. And as we exhale out towards the front, we ask for guidance for whatever is challenging us. And we inhale, we allow that guidance to come in. Maybe it comes in now, maybe it comes in later, it doesn't matter. But let's just do this. And when it's comfortable, just sit quietly with that breath. And whether some intuition or sign or information has come or not, it's okay. We just put the question out there and allow the guidance to show up when and how it wishes to show up. And from here, let's prepare our hearts by expanding our heart field. And with this, we inhale and fill our hearts full of energy. Again, keeping to the 8 heartbeats, or whatever number is right. And then exhale, just allow the energetic body to expand out. It may just be a few inches at first. That's fine. We're just playing. We're just learning. Inhale, fill the heart with energy. Exhale, let the field expand even further. Some of us may find that we expand our consciousness out rather than our energetic body. And that's okay. They're two different things, though. So you want to play so you can experience both of them. The energetic field, the heart field, is actually more tangible. Consciousness lighter. But there's great power in this energy. So as we expand again, could we fill the room with our heart field? And next, exhale, could we fill our city, our county, our state? And just set the intention to allow it to fill our country and the world. Perhaps expanding out to the far reaches of creation. Over time, we discover that our energetic body is already fully expanded to the far reaches of creation. And all we are doing is beginning the process of noticing it. That in our world, our heart is the center point of our energetic body, of our energetic beingness. And at a very deep level, all of our hearts are interconnected. This vast universal field we call the universal heart. And could we set the intention, just an intention, that it's okay for us to be totally in alignment with the universal heart? That our desires reflect the desires of the universal heart. It's a state of great surrender, great peace, and great power. Is it okay with us if the power of the universal heart flows through us, allowing the fulfillment of our heart's desires? Let's just say yes to that intention and let it go. And from this expanded place in the heart, let's begin this process of finding where the love is in terms of electromagnetic pollution. And we always start with our individual worlds. And the question I'd ask for you first is, do you feel the effects of Wi-Fi, of the field of energy that surrounds us all the time when we live in the city? Or if you don't, and I think you will after I ask a few more questions, do you know of anyone who is extremely sensitive to the radiation of Wi-Fi. And how do you feel about that? I have a friend who has an apartment, but whenever she can, she goes out into the country and sleeps in her car, just because the Wi-Fi impacts her so terribly. And if you think you don't feel it, perhaps you could remember a time when you were out in nature and you noticed the quietness, the peacefulness. And I just invite you to compare that to the general field when we live in a town or a city. And I think almost all of us can feel that difference. What do you think that does to us? And if that brings up any fear or any concern or any even mild, like, I don't know, could you welcome that feeling up? What we do here is we welcome up all energy, all feelings, and we do a couple things with them. The simplest is we just be with them. We just be with them. If it's particularly strong, it's useful to feel it in the body as a sensation, or perhaps in your heart field surrounding you, and allow that energy to move into our hearts, and let the heart transform it into some divine quality. Because I feel this field as an agitation, I'm going to suggest, and the quality I will use is peace, but whatever quality is right for you is fine. There was a great metaphysical teacher in the early 1900s, Rudolf Steiner. And he said, unbelievably, he said this in 1924, when electricity was just becoming widespread. He said, I can see it, that people nowadays, modern people, this is 1924, have a hard time comprehending situations and solving problems, much harder than they did 30 or 40 years ago, before all this electricity surrounded us. That's 1924. Here we are, practically speaking, 95 years later, 100 years later, massive energy everywhere. Right here in this building, we're in a storefront church on the square in Fairfield, Iowa. When I look at what's available on the Wi-Fi on my computer, I pick up at least 20 Wi-Fi signals right where we sit. How do you feel about that? Wherever you are in your own home or city or whatever, it's the same way. More so in the big cities. Imagine living in an apartment building. 40 units, 100 units, every one of them has Wi-Fi. So again, I ask, check in with yourself. How do you feel about that? This is just Wi-Fi. We haven't talked about cell phone towers yet. And let's go back to these people who are sensitive to Wi-Fi. I mean really sensitive, where it just wrecks their health. Suppose it's 1 or 2% of our population. I think that's a conservative number. 1 person out of 100. I know several. There we are. Are we willing to sacrifice 1% of our nation? 3 million people. 3.5 million people. Is it okay with us if we sacrifice their health so we have some convenience with our computers? And whatever energy that brings up, welcome it up into your heart. And let that shift into peace. And more peace. And more peace. Let's go to cell phones. Right now we have what is called 4G, or fourth generation. First generation was just the ability to transfer a voice. Second was voice and text. Third was, I think, internet, and fourth, I don't forget what every generation. So now we have cell phone towers throughout America, and we all love our cell phones. And the forces that be, the corporations that lead the way in technology, are now introducing 5G, which is a fantastically more powerful radiation. All these cell phone towers put out radiation. And we know, we've been warned enough, there's enough studies, that if we keep these cell phones too close to us, we increase the risk of brain tumors, we increase the risk of heart problems. There's a whole slew of problems. We know with microwaves, they have warnings for people who have pacemakers, for people who have heart problems. We know even our basic television, we're told, don't let your children sit too close to the television, because there is toxic radiation coming out from all these electronic appliances. So again, welcome up. How does it feel to be living in a toxic world? Is this your heart's desire? And welcome up whatever resistance we have to that, any not liking. Pull it into our hearts and just let it be transformed into peace. Our resisting and our not liking do not solve the problem. Could we just let that transform into peace, and from the platform of peace, allow the solutions to arise? This 5G sends out very shortwave frequencies. They're now talking about having a cell phone tower every 1,000 feet, or maybe even 3,000 feet, depending on who you're listening to. Extremely intense. You know, the frequency is such that it's like 10 to 40 times higher than the frequency of 4G. And the higher the frequency, the more damage there is to our health. And scientists all over the world are starting to scream about this, about how this is one more experiment on humanity that has been unproven and untested for its safety. You know, we thought it was bad with genetically modified foods, as in who knows what could go wrong, and no one's fully proven that it's totally safe. They just think that it is. But it's the same thing. People use the word an existential threat, and that was a phrase about the 5G. You know, that was a phrase that didn't mean much to me until I sat with it. I thought, what does this really mean? And it means that implementing this level of pollution, electromagnetic pollution, could be a very threat to our species. All because some corporations want to add the latest technology to be the most competitive. And while I don't mind them making a profit, it has to be on the platform of wholeness and health. And it's not a service if it's damaging our health, is it? And it's not just a threat to human life. Imagine, we are, 150, 200-pound people, whatever we weigh. We have a lot of mass. We have a lot of energy to ward off this vibration effect, this radiation effect. What does it do to the bees and to the insects? It can devastate them. What does that do to our food supply? Devastating. So welcome up. I'm getting this feeling of helplessness, despair, whatever it is for you. Welcome this up. Let's pull it into our hearts. And let's just let that energy go. And I have to bring in the effect of electromagnetic weaponry on animals, particularly the sea creatures. I was reading this experience of 4 scuba divers off the coast of Hawaii, scuba diving along, and suddenly this huge blast comes through the waters, knocks them, all of them, just a few feet. One of them was so badly hurt by this blast, they didn't know what it was, that the other three actually had to rescue that person and pull them out of the water. The next day, dozens of sea turtles washed up onto the shore, dead. They did some research and discovered the Navy was doing war exercises, and undoubtedly was using their sonar. And they were blasted. They were devastated physically for 3 or 4 days. Sea turtles were killed. You wonder why sometimes whales show up on beaches. I always wondered, whales, dolphins, what's wrong? And it's the electromagnetic pollution. How do you feel about that? Sea turtles, whales, dolphins dying on our beaches. My heart gets crushed when I talk about it. Could we welcome this energy up? Fill up our hearts and let it shift into peace. And more peace. They're beginning to use electromagnetic pollution as weapons. On a supposedly more benign level, they're beginning to use them on crowds for crowd control. The government doesn't like a protest. Excuse me. Electromagnetic blasts. Piercing. Loud. The crowd has to leave. Welcome up the energy. Do we feel oppressed by our government? Could you welcome it up and just let the energy go? It's just energy. Just energy. We're always bigger than whatever energy we're experiencing. We know way back in the 60s and the 70s, the governments, this country and Russia, began using, I know the Russians began using it on our embassy in Russia. The Russians used it against Bobby Fischer while he was playing chess. against the Russian masters. Bobby Fischer knew it, but everyone thought he was crazy, but he could feel it. And he responded by bringing in students from India to chant silently during the chess matches. Ananda Marga was the group he had brought in. So this hidden war is going on and undoubtedly getting more and more sophisticated. How do we feel about our military? Exploring and developing this. Welcome it up and just let it go. The sad part of all this for me is that the military feels like it's doing what it has to protect us. Now, they develop all this technology that gets used against our health unwittingly. These corporations will say, yes, we're giving you just what you want. You want faster, better, and more data. More ability to play your games anywhere faster. More data. It's what you want. We're giving it to you. So, and there's some truth to both of these. You know, we call them evil. How could they? And yet, we do. The mass of the people want this. So again, check to see if there's any sense of helplessness here. How do we fight these big forces that all believe they're doing the right thing? And just welcome that up into our hearts, or just be with it, whatever works best for you. And could you allow that to shift into peace? So my request is that we start looking at our own judgments. Check to see if you judge the military, the Russians. Check to see if you judge the big corporations, the scientists building all this, for not paying attention to our health, for rashly and foolhardily moving into areas that they do not totally understand the ramifications of. And would it be okay with you if you let go of disapproving of all these people? And let go of that disapproval some more. And more. And more. And because disapproval has not changed the situation, let's flip that upside down and let's use the power of our hearts to send them love and approval. And if you're going, I don't want to send them love and approval, could you just welcome up that energy? Realize it's just a thought or a feeling, and let that go. By sending them love and approval, we're not saying, nice job, keep it up. What we're doing is we're enlivening their higher self. We are enlivening their own hearts, that they may begin the process of referring not to their greed, not to their fears, but they can refer back to their own hearts in every small decision that they make. Could we give the military love and approval? and more love and approval. And more love and approval. And could we allow the military to live in complete alignment with their nature and completely in alignment with the universal heart, where they may stand ready, prepared, so completely established within their own hearts, their own beingness, that never would anyone dare to attack. And could we offer this same blessing to every military in the world? So completely aligned with their own nature, so completely aligned with the vast universal source field, that there is never a need. They only stand as a deterrent, as protectors. And could we give some love and approval to all the scientists and the executives and the technology companies? And again, if you feel some resistance to that, because I feel it in my own heart, can we pull up that resistance, that not liking? That's our own energy. That's us blasting them with our own subtle energy. In fact, can we go there for a second? We decry the subtle energy coming in from the cell towers and the Wi-Fi signals. And yet, how powerful is our own hatred? How powerful is our own dislike, our own distrust? Are we not passing out a very toxic vibration to those we disapprove of? When you think about that, it's pretty clear that's just what we're doing. We are a powerful cell tower in our own right. So could we let go of our distrust, our dislike, our judgment, our hatred, our frustration, our anger, whatever it is, can we pull it up into our hearts and let it go? And let it go some more. And more. And more. And again, could we radiate love, harmony, beauty? Could we send all these scientists and these executives love and approval? More love, more approval, with the intention of waking up within them access to their heart energy, to their own sense of harmony and beauty. And could we allow them to create these wonderful inventions, this technology that we love so much, in a way that is completely in harmony with nature? And could we send them some more love and approval to allow them to create this technology completely in harmony with nature? And let's just move into a vision of our world where all technology is in harmony with nature. Just allow that image to sink into our hearts. And could we just love that image? All technology in harmony with nature. And could we love that some more? And allow our nation and our world to shine forth with love, with harmony, and with beauty. Where the heart field is so readily tangible and felt by everyone that every day 1 million small decisions are made from the heart field rather than from our minds. Millions of small decisions throughout the world made from our heart field rather than our minds. And whatever that image looks like to you or feels like to you, could you fill it with love and then just let it dissolve and rest in the peace and harmony within our own hearts? And allow the incredible power of the universal heart to fulfill that intention, to fulfill that vision. And perhaps allow your attention to go to the soles of your feet, to connect with the earth. And take a moment, but when you're ready, please open your eyes. Well, that's quite an image. Each one of us a cell tower. Yeah. So this ends the formal part of our program, of our class. People need to leave. That's perfectly okay. We use this as a time if people are stirred up about whatever we did in the meditation or just anything in their lives. If you have a question or a gain to share. Or we can just hang out. Is that you, John? Something going on?
Yeah, I have a question.
Please.
Okay. Maybe two questions first. The first one is...
Could you talk louder?
Okay. So the first question I have is about the use of the word approval, because I find that catches with me. And I look at approval as being a form of judgment, because you have approve or disapprove. It's like a stamp of approval is saying, yeah, this is okay.
So John?
Yeah.
Is it okay if you just use the word love?
Yeah, love is great.
Why don't you just hear it as love?
Yeah.
So you just send love and you don't send approval. It's okay.
Yeah. No, I got that, and that's what.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if I was missing on something.
No, the reason we throw in both words is that for some people it's hard to send love, but approval's an easier energy to send. That's the only reason for that. Love is the more pure energy, to be perfectly honest.
How about like?
It's okay, and that's all right too.
No, I mean, it's
okay too.
Yeah.
The trick is, and probably the world has evolved from when we first started doing this, is that it's just hard for some people to go full on loving.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we want everyone to have, wherever they are, to move in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? What's your second question?
The second question is, and this may be too intellectual, I don't know, but when I look at the situation that we're facing in the world, because it's on a number of different levels, and, on the level of disharmony, and what I see is kind of a necessity of people coming together. A lot like what we're doing in this group.
Yes.
And so is there a way or other manners to encourage cooperation? Because to be able to meet a lot of the challenges, it has to be done, I believe it has to be done in a cooperative manner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're completely right. My invitation to you is, if you feel, I'll sort of quote this great saint named Amici, who said, if you have any love for the world, if you have any compassion, if you feel called to serve, step forward bravely.
Mm-hmm.
So my invitation to you is, because you're exactly right, is however you are called to step forward to enhance this coming together, I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
I would just love that. And I say that to everyone here. That's what's coming. And the world doesn't know it. But that's where we're moving. Where we all come together. And it can be on many different levels. If you're called to pull people together economically, I love that. If you're called to pull people together on health or this or that, and understand all that we're doing here is we're addressing a very subtle, energetic level of creation. It has nothing to do with whether or not you should protest or write your congressman or do this or do that. Mm-hmm. I say do it all, but I say do it from a place of love. Because what happens is, if we do it from our pain, we experience burnout. Okay? Anybody worked here, worked for this, and you get burned out. If you do it from your heart, if you do it from love, you can still get burned out. But not very easily. What happens is, but for the most part, you don't. You start using that universal energy, but honestly, I see it in people who are very, very much in their hearts, or very much, and they still have a little meltdown, and then they recover very quickly. So, but it's vastly more powerful to work from this place of the heart, from the silence, than it is from your angst and your pain. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You need to release on anything? You need to work on anything, or are you pretty good?
No, I'm pretty good.
All right. Thank you very much. So anyone on the phone also, if something's coming up, you can unmute yourself by hitting *6. We love you too.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Hi.
Who's this?
Cindy, I have an echo.
Okay.
Okay, the echo's gone. Okay, Here's my question. I absolutely love what you said about people being the energy that people send out. And what I would like help on is I'm one of them that's real sensitive to the towers and to other people's energy and to smells. And the other night I went up to a lady and I just said, I just felt I had to come up and let you know why I don't come up to you, because she thought I didn't like her anymore. And I just said, you wear too much perfume and I'm so sensitive to it. And she said, oh, that's okay. I know I do. And my daughter won't come up to me either. And that's okay. And I felt good and empowered that I went up to her. And at the same time, how do I overcome my sensitivity so I'm not so sensitive? If I walk into someone's house, I can smell the chemicals they've used. And there's many times I've just turned around and go right back out.
Yes. Thank you for speaking up about this, by the way, Cindy. This is a more, well, I think many people have this. This is not so minor. And the question is, what do you do? Where do you go with it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, first of all, let's address it energetically, okay? So,
okay.
Here you are, and you have this experience. How do you feel about it? Do you like it?
Well, it's kind of both. I feel I'm glad I'm sensitive because my body's warning me to stay out of toxic areas and situations. And at the same time, I'm a little sad that there's places I feel I can't go to because the smells are just so overwhelming. And I've tried different techniques like, visualizing rising above it. And I haven't found really a technique yet that works for me where I can go into a situation where people have perfumes on, or even men with cologne. I mean, there's even guys that it will be hard. So I haven't found an answer yet.
Gotcha. Good. So you like it and you don't like it. It has a benefit.
Correct.
It has a problem. I totally get that.
Correct.
Totally get that. And that's what we always say. We have an attachment and we have an aversion. And both sides of that. Both sides of that actually hold it in place. Okay? So could you welcome up the not liking side of this? All the energy where you disapprove of, why is this happening to me? Why do I have to experience this? Why do I have to, even go up to some person and tell them they're wearing too much perfume? Okay? Can you welcome that energy?
Yes.
And can you just be with it?
Yes.
Can you welcome it some more and just be with it, let it go, and into your heart?
Yes.
And even more.
Yes.
Yes. And all the things that you love about it, because you're very sensitive, and it's actually a great power to be sensitive. Can you welcome that up? And can you let that go?
It's interesting. I welcomed it up, and I didn't really want to let it go because I see it as an asset.
Yes. Did you let it go anyway? And let it get even better. And let it get even better. So something even better can show up.
Okay, so I'm not letting it go as to get rid of it. I'm just letting the energy go, correct?
Yes. And letting it go so it can get better.
Okay.
Whatever you have right now.
Yes.
Yes. You just let it go some more.
Okay.
And let it go some more.
I'm feeling like I'm surrounded by a big, 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 beautiful bubble of love.
Oh. So that works for me, by the way.
It works for me. Now I'm expanding the love to include the people, places, and things that have the smells I don't like.
Yes. Let that expand some more. So, Cindy, is it okay with you if this sensitivity becomes a vehicle for you to expand permanently into this bubble of love?
Yes.
Yes. Good. And from this perspective, can you look at this sensitivity and just absolutely be grateful for it?
Yes.
Would you have even more gratitude?
Yes.
And more gratitude.
Yes. And I am grateful for it. What I feel bad is that my husband, because if we go someplace and the smells too bad, I let him know if he wants to stay, he can stay, but I normally have to leave because the smell's so strong, and I have physically gotten sick before, where I've thrown up within minutes from the smells of mothballs.
Yes, I totally get it. So, welcome up this issue with your husband, okay? And you don't like it that your condition more or less controls his life, right?
Somewhat, yes.
Somewhat, yeah. So, and could you let him be the one who decides whether to adjust or shift or act however he wants to act?
And I do, yes.
Yes. So could you give him total sovereignty here?
Yes, easily.
Easily, right. So it becomes his choice, doesn't it?
Oh, it is. It always is. And I just feel bad that I feel most of the time he'll leave because of me.
I got
this,
Yes, and that's his choice, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah. And you'd do things for your husband, wouldn't you?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That's what I needed to hear.
Yeah.
That's the part, yes.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, so that whole thing again, can you see that this is just your life organizing itself to give you an opportunity to move into love?
Yes, okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And every time that comes up, would it be okay if you loved your husband and you loved your sensitivity?
Yes.
It is okay, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, it is. And all that negativity, you can just welcome it up. All the disliking, welcome up and let it shift into love. Just like you did a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
So pull up a picture of you're going to a restaurant and someone's got too much perfume on. And you say to your husband, honey, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to leave. I'm really sorry. You can stay if you want or not, or whatever. And get the whole picture just like that. Could you let that picture be surrounded with a bubble of love?
Yes.
Yes. And could you love the person that's wearing the perfume?
Yes.
Yeah, because they're responsible, or they're the source of your moving into this bubble of love, aren't they?
Yes.
And disapproving of them doesn't get that perfume off them, does it?
It does not, correct.
It does not. So again, is it okay with you if you move into a place where you begin to live in this bubble of love all the time?
Yes, and my question is, I'm feeling, I know my head wants to get in, my brain wants to get in, my mind. Like when I'm in my bubble of love, I feel I should, there's a should, be able to be in the presence of someone with a lot of perfume smell and not have it affect me, and I'm not quite there yet, and that's where I'd like to be. So, where I can go to places and even if the smell's there, rise above it somehow, where I can still be there and not have to leave.
Yes. So you basically have an intention here to not be sensitive anymore.
Well, I like the fact that I'm sensitive, that my body warns me to stay away, but at the same time, I guess I'm okay, I feel I'm wishing it to be different, that I could rise above it, and still be there and not have it affect me as much.
So, Cindy, does wanting to change this condition cause it to change?
No.
No, it doesn't. So could you welcome up this wanting to change it?
Okay.
And just let that dissolve or move into your heart.
Yes.
Yeah, this is that basic wanting to control, wanting to change, basic pattern. Could you welcome that up some more?
Okay.
Just let that go.
Yes.
Yeah, so for years and years and years, you've had this wanting to control it, wanting to make it go away, that sensitivity like that. So, and that hasn't made it happen, has it?
Correct.
So would it be okay if you just shifted your approach, and every time you found yourself wanting to change that, could you welcome up that wanting to change and let that go?
Yes.
And let it go some more.
Yes.
And since you've resisted it for probably years or decades, I don't know how long, for a long time, is it okay with you if it takes a while for this to kick in?
Yes.
Yeah. And no matter how long it takes to kick in, when you let go of that wanting to control or wanting to change, you notice you feel more peaceful, more quiet?
I do. Yes.
More loving, really. Okay?
Yes.
So is it okay if you just do this as a process of experiencing peace and allow the transformation to happen when it happens?
Yes.
Okay. And that doesn't mean, if there's ways to, on the very practical level, deal with it, of course you do that. But on this level, you just always keep coming back to this. What happens is the surface effects follow the subtle effects, the energetic effects.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying? So
yes.
It just takes time to work through your system. Whatever impurities are there, that sensitivities or lack of protection are there, if you just be at peace, and as you move into this peaceful, quiet place, allow your body to restore itself to perfect health.
Yes.
Yeah. If you just allow that intention again, I allow my body to be radiantly, perfectly healthy. Is that okay?
And yes, and a question is with the electromagnetic field. I do affect it, have been and am affected by it, and I'm wondering by the bubble of love, because there's sometimes I feel we're in a place where, like you said, it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
And I felt it scatter my energy field, and I'm feeling that I guess I'm asking if this is correct, if I'm doing it correct, just keeping that bubble of love around me, then that should help protect me from the magnetic fields, correct?
Well, that's my opinion. Okay?
Okay.
And my opinion is that we are actually the masters of our own magnetic resonance. And that when we are aligned completely, we start having like an armor around ourselves. So that's my opinion, but I'm encouraged.
And I love that, and I accept, and I'm taking that on as mine too. Thank you. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. It's called,
and it resonates with me very strong.
Yeah. In physics, it's called the Meissner effect. When a bunch of cells are all perfectly aligned magnetically, it creates an armor. So there's good science behind that. And it just hasn't been, it's so subtle we haven't been able to prove it yet.
Okay.
So your job is to let go of any attachment, any aversion, anything you don't like, and allow complete alignment with this universal magnetic field. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Let us know how it goes.
I will. Thank you so much, and I love you. I love what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Cindy. Now, is 5112 San Antonio?
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. All right. We love Texas.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. We have a couple raised hands here. Janet?
Thank you for this opportunity.
So speak up.
Thank you for this opportunity to be here with us.
Okay.
I wanted to say one thing to her is I agree with you, those techniques, and that there's also energy medicine that she can do to strengthen her system and ability to metabolize the toxins. And she can look into Donna Eden energy medicine, for instance.
Okay.
But there are things. Donna Eden energy medicine. She's put together all these things of how to strengthen. Donna Eden. Yeah.
Okay.
Strengthen your aura and all that. And she's teaching now energy fixes that will help you metabolize it. So that's that.
Okay.
And then I, of course, have huge issues with the whole 5G thing still.
I forgot to mention smart meters.
And smart meters.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, you did mention it.
Oh, did I mention them?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And I regret how angry I would become to the head of Alliant and the IUB and all these people because they do know a lot about it. I mean, somebody behind them knows it was damaging. And so that's a little harder for me to love.
Okay.
And I don't know that our little antennas of wanting to protect is as dangerous as the satellites and all this. But maybe it is. And I like your idea, and I think it's got to be the answer. I need a little help getting there.
So let's go right there. Let's go back to where you are addressing the head of Alliant Energy and the Utilities Commission and all that sort of thing. By the way, thank you for doing all that. It's deeply appreciated. And so you go there and you're angry.
Yeah, because they'll say, if I thought for 1 minute it would harm anyone, I wouldn't do it.
So they're lying to you.
They're lying, and they know it.
Right.
And we send thousands of studies,
right,
and they pretend they're going to read them, and you know they're not going to read them.
Okay, so they're lying to you, and they're deceiving you.
Yes.
And how does that make you feel?
Angry.
Good. So can you welcome up that anger? Welcome up some more. And everyone else who's angry about this or anything. And it's just anger, isn't it? You've been angry before. And does the anger help you at all?
I don't know. I mean, it sort of motivates you to spend your time working
okay. And
on it.
That's legitimate. And if you want to use your anger to motivate yourself, you can.
I don't. It's not good for me. It's completely,
right.
It's hard on me.
Okay, so just be at peace. That's what you did. We all do it. We all use our emotions to motivate ourselves. Would it be okay with you if you welcome that anger up into your heart and let that shift? What would you like that to shift into?
Love.
Love. Love and peace. Could you welcome up that energy? Let it shift into love and peace. Where do you feel this energy?
In my tears, in my arms, in my head,
everywhere.
My heart.
Yes. So just keep pulling it in. Is it easy for you to move energy into your heart, or do you just want to be with it?
No, I'm practicing that now in hopes that that's what works. And it has sometimes. It's just it's a struggle. This is a struggle because we just want to be able to have our free, comfortable air,
Right.
And it's very bad for me with my blood sugar issues to have this radiation. It makes it way worse. And you just want rest, peace somewhere.
Yes. So all that energy you're feeling in your body, be with it. It's just energy. Could you allow yourself to expand your heart field? And expand it even more. And even more. But how far out do you expand when you expand?
Well, I just started to lighten up the pain and feel the peace. And so then I was able to go
Expand?
to the room. Yeah.
The room? Good. So
that's about it.
That's big. That's big. That's plenty big. And so from that expanded perspective of your heart, how big is this energy?
Which energy?
Oh, your hatred, your anger, your frustration.
Well, it's bigger because we haven't accomplished it yet to reach these people.
Okay. But in terms of the energy in your own body, compared to the expanded size of your heart, is your heart bigger than this energy? Is the energy bigger than your heart?
I guess it's bigger. My heart should be bigger, but
doesn't feel that way.
It's a little crippled by the stupidity of it all.
It's okay. So pull up the judgments there. They're just judgments. Okay?
Yeah.
Is it okay with you if you go into your heart here? Yeah.
For my own good.
For your own good. And everyone else's. Right? Yeah? And you just go into your heart. And when your heart looks at all this anger and all this frustration, what does your heart see? What does your heart say to this anger?
Well, it says it'll be okay.
Yeah. Is it okay with you if you listen to your heart?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you allow it to be okay?
Yeah, it's just the patience.
Just the patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
To wait for it to be okay.
Yeah. Could you just allow it to be okay?
Yeah.
And allow it to unfold in its own time?
Yeah. Because after all, if we die, so what?
Right.
We'll go on.
Right.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And go into your heart some more.
Yeah, for the lying. I'm angry about the lying.
Lying, yeah. And so, have you ever lied?
Yep.
Yep.
Probably.
And these guys, scared to death of having an angry goddess in front of them. Right?
Yeah, they didn't like it. They shut me down.
Yeah, they did not like it. Of course not. Of course not.
And I didn't like it either. And I regretted it.
Yeah.
Because Kathy keeps her stuff together.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've had it up to here, with them lying to my face.
Yeah. And could you just go and be in their shoes for a minute? Okay? They're in a spot, they've got jobs.
Well, those people, yes.
Yeah.
It's the evil behind it.
That's okay.
Those people, they have their jobs and their families.
I got you. So there they are. So could you
Could
you just have compassion for them?
Yeah.
They're stuck in the system.
Yeah, those people I can. Yeah.
And there's some forces behind it.
Yeah.
Okay? And is it okay with you if you go into this compassion and then you look at the forces behind that? They look really big and really evil.
Yeah.
Right. And is it okay with you if you identify with your universal heart, expand it out, and realize that's just one more force in the universe? Can you see that?
Yeah, and you need good and evil, and I don't understand it, but...
Yeah, but it's there. Whatever you need it or not is there, right?
Right.
Okay. And would you rather hate this, or would you rather stay in peace with this?
I'd rather stay in peace and still somehow be effective.
Yeah. And who's more powerful? The warrior who's facing another warrior and secretly inside is terrified and angry and furious? Or the one who is calm, totally in her power?
Calm.
The one who's totally in her power, right?
Yeah.
So would that be okay if you move into that?
Okay.
That's okay, isn't it? No matter how big and dark that field is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you a trick here, Janet.
Yeah.
That the bigger you get, the more powerful you become, the more heart-centered you become, the bigger the force out there opposing you is going to be.
Mm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You get that?
Hmm. So that's the truth.
That's my experience.
Uh-huh.
You know, you rise up. It's not like suddenly you're bigger than everything.
Right.
This is the play of creation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, is it okay with you
Mm-hmm.
if you expand and become this beautiful goddess, full of power, Durga, Kali? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they, totally in their presence, go berserk and angry and slay all these demons. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're always present.
Mm.
Okay?
So why bother?
So is it okay with you? I mean, it's okay. You can say why bother, but what happens is it's the natural process of growing.
Oh. So everyone just gets expanded.
Yes.
The good and the evil together.
Yes.
And what happens in the end?
In the end, it all dissolves.
Oh.
Okay?
Into the Maya that it
Yes.
always was.
Right.
Oh.
Okay? And it's because, I hate to say this, it's because we love to play. We're here for the play.
Mm.
And whatever reason
That's what we got to do.
it's, the beingness, the universal energy, the source field said, let's create some diversity here.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately created yin and yang, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always there, every level of life, positive and negative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Could you allow yourself to be at peace with this picture?
Yes.
Because it's there, right?
Right.
Might as well play with it.
Mm-hmm.
Could you allow it to be there and enjoy the game?
I'll try that, yeah.
So that means no. Famous, I'll try that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you just make the intention.
Yes, I can.
And is it okay if you fall down and fail once in a while?
Sure.
It is, and then you just pick yourself up and go again. Yes?
Right, yes.
Okay.
And I did try to be loving to them once.
Uh-huh.
And I said from my heart, we hate to see you waste billions of dollars on all this infrastructure, because guess what? We're not going to stop fighting till it's gone. And then you're going to be stuck in all this debt. And I felt that was loving, and I meant it.
Yeah.
Here you are wasting all your money with these antennas.
How did it feel when you spoke from love?
Good.
There you go.
Good. I mean, they just didn't absorb that or metabolize it at all. But I meant it, and I was trying to find the love way. And that is it. It's like, oh my God, your investments are all wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you.
Okay.
And, Tom Pilladino has said the next level is scalar energy.
Yeah.
And then that has what?
Scalar energy.
And it won't break down, and it won't cause ill health, and they can do the same thing.
And this is...
So we need money for that.
This is
what does it mean, scalar energy?
Yeah.
So let's not get into the whole details of it. This is where we allow technology to work in harmony. It's there. It'll show up.
And it can happen.
It'll show up.
Yes. And love will bring it faster.
Love will bring it faster.
Got it.
All right.
Thank
You're
you.
good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Can this be a core group? Because I don't know your name. One last name with the beard. You said something about all of us coming together as people and working from this deep level.
All right, let's be courteous to the people on the phone here.
Oh.
And it's now 10:25, so I'm going to call this a meeting. And thank you all very much for so many people hung on there. I'm amazed. I'm so happy. I love you guys on the phone. I'm going to unmute everyone.
Love you too.
We love you. We love every one of you.
Thank you. Fabulous meeting. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I learned so much. Love, love, love.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
All right. In this recording.